What's up, guys? How you doing? Welcome to another low-budget Money and Mirth episode. The Bitcoin halving has just been completed, so I just want to briefly touch on that topic. Let's have a look at what the market's likely to do next and try and avoid some of the traps that the market makers are likely to lay right now, because the Bitcoin halving is a massive opportunity for market makers to play their favorite two cards, FOMO and fear. Okay, so first up, we've got the news. We can see the Bitcoin halving is done and dusted, and already we're starting to see people speaking about massive price predictions like 250,000, $1 million, and so on and so on. Whether those are realistic or not, it's going to remain to be seen. But I don't think 250 is out of the window. It's certainly possible if we have a blow off top at some point later this year or in 2025. But what's important is that you pay attention to the news that comes out over the next few days into next week, because it's quite likely going to be very bullish and extremely optimistic because the halving cycle is completed and we're looking for fresh buyers, right? If I show you the Bitcoin chart, this is the psychology of the market as I see it. I shared this with my trading group a few days ago and pointed out that we're quite likely to get a pump now that we tapped this final low another time and put in this long candle. Now, that's all great, and this setup makes it look like the bottom is in. So this rally that we're having now that the halving has finished, is going to bring in a lot of attention, and it's going to get people basically saying we're going to the moon, and you're going to see tons of news printed, I think, saying we're off to the moon. But this area is very dangerous to trade in because it's also quite likely, in my opinion, that actually we'll see a bit of a fake out. Everybody gets in here rallying into that FOMO, but if we then dump and actually attack the lower areas that we've been waiting for, it's going to shake everybody out of the market again. And if we rally from here, everyone will then say the bottom is in because we've filled our target zone. But if price then fails to really break back into this range, people are going to say, oh dear, we've had a failure in the moon area, we've had a failure to get back into this range, and people will then be calling to exit the market and say the bear market is beginning and the top is in. All right, then we go one more leg down, could go deeper than people expect into those sort of sub 50k levels, but let's say 50, 52k for now. That's where people are going to say it's going to zero, and the market makers are going to be printing the news, scaring everybody out of the market. And then what happens next? Boom, big pump, and that's where we'll finally start seeing that road up to six-figure numbers. So that's the psychology of the market as I see it. These price levels are, I think they should be relatively accurate, but always take things with a pinch of salt when we're so far out from the action actually happening. But I really just wanted to share this so that you don't get sucked into the crazy games that are going to begin here. If Bitcoin goes on and breaks this high again, then actually I believe, yeah, we're fully bullish and we just need to YOLO everything kind of thing. But until then, watch out for this danger zone in the middle. Be wary of Bitcoin under 70k and be wary of a lot of chop and pops in this area. All right. Same thing goes for Ethereum, getting up to that 3,400 level. But beyond that, just be cautious. I think we can take a ride to this area, but be careful of this kind of a pattern. Now, I can show you this pattern has happened before on the Bitcoin chart, because once you've been trading enough coins for long enough, you feel like you get deja vu all the time, and you start seeing patterns that have repeated and experiences you've had in the past. And just wanted to show you just back here, actually, the previous high back in 2021. Yep. And I don't know, there's another example of this potentially over here. Okay, so this is not really a great example, but you can see the move that comes down, breaks this range, comes back up to the middle ground of the range before finding fresh lows. And if we go to the 2021 top, which we just went past, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Imagine that we're basically here right now. We've had that run down. We had our kind of double top type shape over on over here. You see this kind of double top type shape. And then this puncture down, just breaking the lows, right? So let's imagine that's something like this area. We come back up to the midpoint of this kind of sideways range and then collapse. And at this point, everyone is extremely bearish. We're going to zero, but then boom, off we go and we make a new high. All right. So just be wary of that, because this really is the perfect area for that to happen. I just think the psychology of this area is spot on for that type of a move. And if you're aware of it in advance, two things are going to happen. You're going to avoid getting twisted up and shaken out and sucked in and blended, basically. But more importantly, you could make some money from this, because if you start to see that Bitcoin is struggling in this area, you could look at a sneaky little short play down into these zones. And of course, if we get this final raid in this area and you're seeing the news is telling you Bitcoin is dead and everything's terrible, probably a pretty good area to get into a long and ride that up to 80K, maybe even 100K on the next leg. All right, so that's kind of it. That's all I wanted to share. Just a real quick touch on how markets work and the psychology of the market. And you can obviously flip through the news for yourself to see what's going on with the halving, why it's important, and how it will affect price. Again, most people are going to tell you this is bullish, and I think it will be. But before the bulls take charge, one nice market flush to really shake people up, and that's going to cause some chaos amongst altcoins as well. So when that final flush happens, if it does, I think it's time to go shopping, because we won't see prices this low for quite a long time again. Altcoins are on a massive discount. All right, so before we end the episode, I just wanted to say that we're running a bull run domination bundle at the Profit Farmers Club. That's our crypto trading community where you can get high-powered signals. You can also get mentoring and coaching, training courses teaching you how to trade, how to use in-depth technical analysis to conquer the markets in a way that genuinely works. You'll have yourself a dedicated mentor who has proven his strategies and has actually got funding from a couple of different providers now for his own trading accounts. That's prop firm trading challenges. If you're not aware of them, they're quite difficult to pass. And he's been on a streak recently with his strategy. So on top of our trading signals, you can learn to trade yourself, and you can be part of a community that is constantly sharing trading ideas. So if you're interested, check the link down below or head over to profitfarmers.com and you can find your way into our crypto community in that way. All right, see you again now. Bye-bye.